welcome once again. Talking SA20 this time, and man, what a tournament! I mean, I know stuff kicks off, and there's the first time around, and it's novelty, and everybody might flock to the stadiums, and things go well, and those who are in charge of it will kind of jump up and down and say how good it is and all of that, but it might not necessarily be so, right? And then what you get is this second season syndrome, and when the second season syndrome hits, it kind of becomes quite apparent that it's a thing that might well have fizzled out or is kind of in the process of fizzling out. No such story here with SA20, because it seems, and this is what you want, I reckon, whenever you kind of create a tournament or a tournament for a particular place, you want those people in the place to be the ones who kind of own it, who decide that they're going to embrace this, they're going to take ownership, and they're going to turn up at grounds all over the place and make sure that they support it. The only way they're going to do that is there's some sort of resonance, right, with the product, and they see it genuinely as something they can do to have themselves some fun and something they can look forward to sort of week after week after week, and essentially day after day after day, because the matches are every day for just over a month. So yeah, kudos where kudos must go. Second time around, the weather very nearly kind of dampened things, so to speak, and it looked as if everyone's going to get worried. You never know, the season might not go so well because of kind of how it started, but it's in the full swing now, and it's looking absolutely fantastic. The crowds do it, and I laugh because straight in my head is that match in Cape Town and that young lady who decided that she would show everybody how quickly she could drink her beverage, and her dad's, or whoever that was next to her. Oh man, yeah, just one thing, I suppose, illustrating how much fun is being had. The kids around the place also been absolutely fantastic. On to the field of play though, and this is actually what I wanted to talk about with regard to SA20, is just to talk about it as one of the franchise tournaments around the various countries. Now, it is undisputed that the biggest one, most lucrative one for players is the Indian Premier League. And that is not to say you want to isolate that alone, but put them in whatever pecking order you want. And then let's go with this as a subject, which says, if you have a franchise tournament in your country as a player, it is imperative that you are the incumbent on one of those 11 spots, right? 11 spots in a team, in a franchise, so that essentially your resume, your CV is out there for all to see, and you're not cast away from the minds of many, a coach who's trying to kind of put together a team for whichever franchise tournament goes around the world. If you cannot do that, then upskill, do whatever it is you must to ensure that you command a spot. Because if you don't, and you kind of sit on the sidelines, there's no way you're going to be able to go and sit on the sidelines in every single tournament all over the place. Not going to happen. It can't happen, because when auction turns up, however you do it, drafts, whatever, then your name's not going to come up. It also kind of leads to, in the beginning actually, countries might not have paid attention to the performances of players when they were away in franchise tournaments. Needless to say that this year is T20 World Cup year, Caribbean and America, right? No better time than this to put your name forward. So think about the guys who are lighting it up at present. And hey, there's still time. There's still time in the tournament for others to light it up. But a great start's good because it's a marker in people's heads. Ryan Rickleton, particularly impressive. Playing beautifully, even likened to Quinton de Kock, who is still playing and is also one of his opposition players, by the way. Rassie Van Der Dussen, his partner, brilliant. Lungi Ngidi, Lungisani, I should say, for the record. I was told this by a colleague, a friend, and by Lungisani himself, that he prefers to be called Lungisani because that's his full name. So at every single instance, when I remember, I try to ensure that I do that. So Lungisani Ngidi, he's been fantastic with ball in hand. Made a good partnership with Obed McCoy. Think of others that come to mind. Heinrich Klaasen, that purple patch is no longer a patch. It's like, I don't know. It's huge. It's a huge farm. No, even bigger than that. It's a huge province, county, whatever you want to call it. But it's going on and on and on, and long may it continue. He's been absolutely fantastic. Brutal on bowlers. And not so good when you come up against him. Who else comes to mind? Wonderful performances. Jordan Hermann, Leas Deploy, Andile Petlugayo. It's been pretty good. Mixing it with absolutely everyone. Some batting, some bowling. So kind of back to being the all-rounder that was spotted all those many years ago. And long may that continue because it's absolutely necessary. I was saying that, countries, national teams used to not necessarily pay attention to franchise tournaments. But it's difficult for a country to not pay attention to its own franchise tournament, right? So, for South African players who are doing well, they enhance their chances greatly for getting into that national side, into that squad of 15 or 16 that'll go to the Caribbean and represent South Africa. Even though there's still time left and there'll still be a tournament, South Africa will probably have their own tournament which involves the provinces and is not franchise so everybody can play. But it's no way you can kind of forget the way guys are going. So the coach, who currently, I think it is just the coach who selects, and he might have a word with the director of cricket and kind of his own volition, look for advice from other places to then come up with what is his squad. There's no way he's going to overlook these guys who are smashing it all over the place, who are bowling particularly well. Shamsi, particularly good. Who else? Rabada, doing what Rabada does, looking good, and that's good to see. As always, absolute superstar. As far as I'm concerned, yes, you might say I'm biased, and probably am. Then, for the overseas guys, talking about commanding a spot, what it says for them is to say, hey, I'm still here, I'm still the guy. Josh the boss, how good. Wonderful to watch. Josh Butler, Jason Roy smashing it as well. Who else? Who else is out there who's been going well? The local guys, I guess. Brett, Pollard is going nicely. Smashed a few. He's bowling a little bit as well. Will Jacks, particularly good with Phil Salt at the top of the order. Nicholas Puran, Adil Rashid, all these guys, seasoned pros, and all it does in a tournament that will have eyes on it because of how it's going, because of the vibe, because of, just how good it is. They'll put their names forward and keep rolling on. And when the next cycle comes around for the next tournament, people will go, yep, we want that guy. So, keep doing it. And let's see if there can be some new players discovered. I like that, actually. New players that might not have had a go. These rookies that are incorporated into SA20. That's nice. And the pitches, actually, the cricket's been really good because the pitches themselves have varied from really good to okay to sometimes a bit on the difficult side. I remember one that was difficult and yet produced a fantastic innings from Heinrich Klaasen. Good to watch and looking forward to more. I wonder what you've enjoyed from this tournament. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know how good you think the tournament is. personally, and as I've said, I continue to wax lyrical about it because it's fabulous. It really is, and great to work on. Just seeing the kind of trying to merge these players and ensure that they gel from various entities, various countries, and so forth, and trying to get them to work together as a team. Who wins it this year? Well, I'll wait and see. I won't talk about that just yet. Just enjoy how it goes. I certainly am enjoying how it goes. Remember to subscribe. Mbangwa Media. Press subscribe, click subscribe, whatever it is you do. And catch up with you next time. Ciao for now.